Hey, sports porchers, it's your hockey Jesus, and I'm back with analysis of the Pittsburgh Penguins at the Vancouver Canucks this afternoon. Well, really late this afternoon, early this evening. The Pittsburgh Penguins win 3-2 today in Vancouver, despite it being, AFC, NFC championship weekend here in the United States of America. But the Pittsburgh Penguins will not be undetermined. They get all 8 points on the road trip. What a great Western Conference road trip this was for the Pittsburgh Penguins. They won in so many different ways, and tonight was different than the others. They win 3-2, mostly on the heels of a great outing by Stu Skinner. Had a great game today, and Ben Kindel gets 2 goals in front of his 180 friends and families in Vancouver. I guess that's where Ben grew up. Kind of his first trip out there as a rookie, and he just shined. He didn't have a game in the last 19 games that he played in, so he was really kind of feeling the pressure. He never looks like he feels the pressure, though. Ben Kindel fits the spot. He's been an absolute breath of fresh air for the Pittsburgh Penguins this year. Also to note, the Pittsburgh Penguins played with the Big Three for the 1,000th time in franchise history, which is hard to believe. That's right. Letang was back in the lineup. Vancouver and Pittsburgh are two teams that are going in absolutely different directions right now. But hey, kudos to Vancouver for making it a game in the third period. How did this all happen? Well, in the first period, honestly, it was a bunch of nothing, except there were 2 goals scored, even though it ended up 0-0. Chinnikov scored, but he was clearly offside on the play where he did get a goal. And Connor Garland scored a goal, but I don't know about this call. They said Bluger was in the blue paint. He was technically in the blue paint. I guess he was right in front of Stuart Skinner. If I'm a Vancouver fan, I'm looking at that and I'm saying bullshit. But I don't know. That's the way it goes, I guess, when your team's not playing very well. You just don't get those kind of calls. That's the way it works. So first period ends with Vancouver out shooting. I actually think they outshot the Penguins the whole game. They were out shooting the Penguins just by 8-9 in shots in the first period. It was an okay period. Not really much going on. Second period opened up, and Mantha got a penalty. And honestly, that was the only penalty the whole game. Pittsburgh Penguins haven't scored a power play goal in quite some times. Probably like 4 or 5 games, if I'm guessing off the top of my head. It's been a while since they've scored a power play goal, but it doesn't seem to matter because they seem to be getting secondary scoring, even though the first line hasn't scored much. That second line has just been red hot. So is the third line, to be honest with you. But the second line got hot first. Tommy Novak, my buddy. I know I'm the hockey Jesus, and I love Tom. I love me some Tommy Novak. His pass to Gino was just absolute sweet. Gino did not miss an open net. He got the goal to make it 1-0. And the Penguins are 22-9 and have scored 50 of their 63 points on the season. So they're pretty hot when scoring first. 22-9, 50 points. And Shea kept it going with a sweet pass to Kindel. Honestly, looked like it went right off his stick. Ben didn't even move his stick right in the slot. Puck went right in the back of the net. And, a few minutes later, Kindel gets another one. Looked like he was going to get the Hattie there for a while. But 3-0 after the second usually is good. Lately, we know what happens to the Pittsburgh Penguins when they're not playing well with the 3-0 lead. And honestly, I was getting ready to do the game, and I'm do this post game, and fourth line scrambled, and DeBrusk got a goal. Only his second 5-on-5 all year long for DeBrusk, who came over from Boston a couple years ago, maybe last year. But with 13 minutes left, I wasn't too worried. And then with 6 minutes left, Bluger, I guess, got the goal. It tipped off of quite a few guys, made it 3-2. And I don't know, I just had that bad feeling coming back again. I know there's only six minutes left. I personally don't like to see the first line out there when there's less than 5 minutes left. I don't know why. I just don't have a lot of confidence in their ability to get the puck out of the zone lately. When the puck gets into the zone, they can control the puck well, but man, I don't know. I just don't have a lot of faith. And Skinner was to the rescue. There was a 2-minute scramble period there where looked like Vancouver had a couple good opportunities, but Skinner every time came up with the puck. Or at the very end with 10 seconds left, nobody came up with the puck, but it didn't end up in the back of the net. And the Pittsburgh Penguins win 3-2. Didn't really even get a chance at shooting it at the empty net. But we'll take it. All 8 points on this road trip. The Pittsburgh Penguins looked absolutely marvelous on this trip. And I don't know if you got a chance to see it. I meant to say this earlier, but on their way out, Connor Clifton, oh my goodness, you got to see this guy do some interviews on the plane out to the West Coast. What he did up in the air with the microphone was just absolutely magical. Go Google it. Connor Clifton, West Coast plane interviews. I promise you it will come up. You will be absolutely entertained. The one thing I did notice when he was doing those interviews, didn't realize that Noel Acciari sat by Sidney Crosby on the plane. That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought that those two would have been seat buddies. Maybe it was just for this trip, but you know Sidney Crosby. When he sits with somebody, he sits with somebody. He doesn't usually make any changes to his seating arrangements once that's set. So I thought that was pretty interesting. There were some guys playing poker. I think it was Carlson and Letang, and they basically told him get the F out, which was interesting. He made a funny beeline up to the coach's area and interviewing Bonino and asked him if he used the same wax on his head that Muse did. Pretty funny stuff. Check that out if you can. So tonight, the Pittsburgh Penguins get all 8 points on the road trip. I said if they get 5 of the 8, I'd be happy. I even said 4 would be okay with me, but I know that these last 2 games and the next 3 coming up, they got 3 home games: Chicago, Rangers, and Ottawa. They got to win these games. I know they're in second place, and all the other teams seem to be kind of falling apart right now. But I promise you, 5 games in 8 days, they're going to be put to the test. These last 5 games before the Olympics, and to me, they've got to win 3 of the 5. I would love to see them beat the Islanders in Buffalo, both on the road, right before the Olympics. Those are going to be good game to watch. I'm finally going to get to see this team live again. I'm going to the Rangers game on Saturday afternoon next weekend. So I'm going to try and do something live there. I think it worked okay with the headphones. I hope you liked that last show. I was trying to use the wireless mic. I hope that worked out for you guys. Hey, if you don't know who I am your hockey Jesus. If you like what you're hearing, smash that subscribe button. Me and my buddies do a show called The Sports Porch. We're on live every Monday evening at 7 o'clock. Mark and I will be live tomorrow night. I guess the TD's taking a little vacation here before the Super Bowl hits. And I'll be back not until Thursday for the next Pittsburgh Penguins game is not until Thursday when the Pittsburgh Penguins take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Don't know if Connor Bedard's back, but we'll know on Thursday. So good job, Penguins. I hope you're loving this hockey. Like I said, if you're loving what you're hearing here, smash that subscribe button, hit that like, and I will catch you on Thursday after the Chicago Blackhawks games. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.